Hello guys. Hello guys.
If it's for a regular checkup, the doctor's offices are behind the reception area.
Excuse me. Yes? I'm looking for Dr. Zamyatin. He's in his office. You'll find it in the small corridor back there. The first door on your left. Pretty gloomy clinic. It could do with a bit of human warmth. It used to be the fortress of the Dukes of Valsambor, the ancient rampart standing against invasions from the east. The inhabitants of Valsambor took refuge here and often escaped the besiegers through mysterious secret passages. When did it become a clinic? That was 20 years ago, thanks to Dr. Zamyatin. I would like to leave this clinic. Would you mind telling me where the exit is, please? Well, usually I'd have told you to go over to the other side of the courtyard to take the funicular that goes down to Valsambor. But it seems Dr. Efimova has shut off the entire clinic for security reasons. The funicular has been stopped until further orders. I see. Thank you for all that information. I'll be going now. Maybe you should head on back to your room and wait until they say the funicular is fixed and back in service. I'll think about it. Goodbye.
Ah, that's bad luck. I missed the last funicular. Do you know why Dr. Efimova locked down the clinic?
Mention of a safety measure from what I heard. Apparently 1 or 2 patients were wandering about.
But I finished work. What can I do until the funicular is running again? I wanted to go to the tavern for lunch. Today's the day when that cute Sarah Steiner is working.
I'm afraid they don't actually need a reason, my friend. You're primed and ready for overtime. And it's good timing. Dr. Mangling told me he was going to need help upstairs with a difficult patient.
Are you here for a visit?
Trapped. But it's completely crazy. They closed everything down, just like that. Why not have a seat for a bit in the waiting room? It's just near the offices, right behind reception.
The funicular is out of service until further notice.
Why not have a seat for a bit in the waiting room? It's just near the offices, right behind reception.
Dr. Olga?
Nobody. Maybe not such a bad thing.
Dr. Olga?
Nobody. Maybe not such a bad thing.
I've been waiting for my appointment for hours.
I'm here to see my husband. He's been here months and months. His doctors say that he hasn't fully recovered yet.
What about going back to your room? If you like, I can go and ask Dr. Mangling to come get you.
Dr. Olga? Nobody. Maybe not such a bad thing.
Dr. Olga?
Nobody. Maybe not such a bad thing.
Hello, Miss Walker. How very delightful to see you up and about. Even if I really have to admit that I'm a bit surprised. Our dear Dr. Olga painted a far darker picture of your current state of health.
Dr. Efimova and Dr. Mangling want everyone to believe that I'm crazy so they can justify keeping me here against my will.
Olga did indeed speak to me about your unfortunate penchant for paranoia. Be careful not to let such perilous perturbations flourish in your mind, Miss Walker. They may be the source of many of your difficulties, for you and for those around you.
Sadly, I assure you that my accusations are well-founded, Dr. Zamiatin. I'm of perfectly sound mind.
Listen to me, Miss Walker. I know that waking up after a prolonged period in a coma is difficult. In such a context, anxiety attacks are very normal. But please, do not project it onto Dr. Olga. I'm not getting any younger, you know, and running this clinic is a very heavy burden. The last few years, Olga has shown she is capable of assisting me. I have every faith in her.
But
The subject is closed, Miss Walker. Please tell me about that pendant you have around your neck. I must admit I noticed it as soon as you walked in. Miss Walker, is everything all right?
it's a souvenir.
Of a good memory or a bad one?
Both at once, really.
Of course, just like with all memories, right? At any rate, what's currently important for you is to avoid being too haunted.
Dr. Zamiatine, I promised Kirk I'd go to the craftsman in Valsambor and bring back his mechanical prosthesis. The poor boy has been waiting for it for ages, so I'd like to try to speed up the process. Would you tell me how to get there?
Now there's a truly noble initiative, Miss Walker. I asked my clockmaker friend Simon Steiner to manufacture the young Yukal's mechanical prosthetic leg. He's a capable craftsman and ingenious. You'll find him in his workshop, near the Valsambor port. I imagine he must almost be finished with his work by now. He makes amazing things. You'll see.
Can you authorize my release so that I can see Dr. Steiner? Unfortunately, I've been told that the clinic is in lockdown.
You will have to ask Dr. Olga, Miss Walker. She signed the current order to lock our establishment down. She's in charge of giving out the passes. This book should answer any of the questions you may have about our Yukal's friends. Farewell and bon voyage, Miss Walker.
Why did the Yukals ask you to heal Kirk?
On each of their migrations, the Yukal shamans and I have exchanged medical knowledge. Their trance therapy and materia medica have provided astounding results for my patients affected by psychological afflictions. In exchange, I do what I can to take care of those injured that they can't heal using their traditional medicine. Like, that poor boy who lost his leg.
How many ostrich migrations have you seen?
This is the third one. I'm lucky to have seen so many of them. It's a rare spectacle. Believe me, the great herd of ostriches accompanied by the Yukals, doomed to blindly follow their animals wherever they happen to roam. And they don't care about countries, wars, and borders.
You seem to like the Yukals, Dr. Zamiatine.
They are a fascinating people, you know, and such astonishing medicine infused with shamanism. Without which, no doubt you would have never arrived in this clinic alive, Miss Walker.
I get the impression that the Yukals aren't much liked around here.
Indeed. It would seem that most of the inhabitants of Valsambor are now quite hostile towards them. This wasn't the case a while back, you know. When I was young, the migration of the snow ostriches was an event widely welcomed with open arms in Valsambor.
Why the change in attitude?
Our region was actually somewhat devastated 20 years ago. Dramatic events changed the way people viewed the world. The people turned inward on themselves. They are less welcoming. And the fact that the Yukals have been stuck here, next to Lake Valsambor for several weeks, hasn't helped.
It's really necessary for me to ask Olga's permission to leave? You're the director of this clinic, after all.
Olga is my right-hand woman. I can't keep her uninvolved in current matters, Miss Walker. She is also currently your doctor. You should really talk with her about it. She isn't as evil as you seem to believe. You'll find her in her office, most probably. You will find Dr. Olga hard at work in her office, Miss Walker.
The American is awake. You must hurry, Colonel.
How is she doing?
Fine, apparently. She is docile for the moment. This may not last too much longer, I'm afraid.
And what about the tribe of nomads?
Just like the past 2 years, Lake Valsambor hasn't frozen over, so the herd can't cross the ice. They're stuck here. And also, their young guide is still in our... If everything goes as planned, soon the Yukos will have no choice but to go back home. Especially as I have a plan to speed things up.
Fine.
There's also the American detective, Colonel. He should be arriving soon.
Let him meet with Miss Walker if that's what he wants to do. No point alarming him just yet. But when all is said and done, we're the ones who are handling the young woman's case. No American is going to come here and tell us what to do.
What? Where did she go?
Hello, Miss Efimova. I'm here to see you too. Kate Walker, it really is you. What a coincidence. I've been looking for you for weeks.
Mr. Canton, I presume?
Ah, I see that my reputation precedes me. Miss Efimova must have told you I was coming.
No, I just now learned of your existence, Mr. Canton. A while ago, my employer in New York informed me that he was going to stick a detective on my back.
I don't like to boast, but I'm the best detective on the East Coast. Never a problem with me. I've been asked to bring you back home safe and sound, Miss Walker. I should be in Balsambor in a few hours.
I'm sorry to disappoint you, Mr. Canton. I'm sure that finding me hasn't been easy.
Oh my God, you have no idea.
I'm afraid this might upset you, but I'm not planning on going back to the United States for the moment, Mr. Canton.
To be honest, you don't really have a choice. The U.S. Justice Department is looking for you, and I even have an international arrest warrant for you, Miss Walker. Who'd have thought?
The feds are looking for me? But what's the charge? I've done nothing wrong.
Embezzlement! Apparently you took off with the contract for the sale of the Clockwork Toy Factory in Vorarlberg. And you took advantage of the seller's senility. You're even suspected of being responsible for the death of one of them, a Mr. Hans Vorarlberg, the last heir authorized to sign contracts with the company you represented. That's not negligible. You know, Miss Walker.
This is completely ridiculous. And as far as I know, you aren't authorized to represent the Justice Department in this country. You're just a detective. So you'll have to put up with it, Mr. Canton. I'm not going back to New York with you. So leave me alone.
Oh, wait, Miss Walker. Please be reasonable.
Goodbye, Mr. Canton.
Charming. Hurry up.
Yes, Dr. Elfimova. I'm doing whatever I can. This damn cap open in the end, you'll see. That's it.
Well, that should convince the Yugol scum to strike camp and go back where she came from. Come on, Helmet. Let's not hang out here.
Yes, of course, Dr. Elfimova.
Hydrochloric acid.
ओके गाइस, तो आज वीडियो को देखो। तो ये इधर ही बना